Hey guys, March to Ragnarok here, coming at you today with John Paltz. Say hi. He made fourth place at a New York regional last month, or a few months ago.
No, it certainly wasn't last month.
Okay.
Back in October.
Okay.
October 13th.
Yes, this is the deck profile. It's late, but who cares? Alrighty, so I'm going to pass it to John. He's going to go through the deck profile.
Okay, so I run Spectral Duke Dragon, Gold Paladins. Pretty standard build for the most part. Nothing really fancy or special or crazy or anything like that. So of course my starter is Black Dragon, Whelp, Vortimer. Standard starter for Duke. After that we run our 8 criticals because Duke needs 8 criticals. I just kind of run 2 Epona, 2 Punisher, and then for that, it doesn't really help with anything, it just kind of looks cool. Then we run our standard 4 draws and 4 heals. So that's it for trigger lineup. Nothing really fancy or anything over the top. So we go to our grade 1 lineup. Of course we run 4 Vortimer, our ride chain unit. Then we have our standard 4 perfect guards.
Ooh, shiny.
I would eventually like to get a playset of that one, but
Ooh, he's fun.
yeah. And then we've got 2 Sleggle daggers. Now, a lot of people question me using these. A lot of people like to use things like Caden or Dindrane, things like that. I like Sleggle dagger. He puts in work. I don't really use his effect up until I'm ready to push for that, final turn, I guess, if we want to use phrasing from the show. But he's good. He's a really, really good card. I really like him. He's a good puppy. So, after that, we have our standard 4 vanilla 8Ks. If I miss my ride chain ride, then I'm just going to ride this.
Sounds good.
So, moving on to our grade 2 lineup, we have 4 Black Dragon Knight Vortimer. Of course, our grade 2 ride chain. Then we have 2 Player of the Holy Bow Vivian.
So good.
Yeah, standard, Counterblast 1 when it hits and when it's boosted. I get to top call Gold Paladin from the top of my deck. It's a pretty good card. It's meant more for the early game fear factor, kind of get them to guard early on. It doesn't usually hit late game. So. 1 Mage of Calamity Trip. I've been thinking about taking this out in favor of another Vivian, but I'm really not sure. I like having her at 1 because damage on flip if I get it. If not, it causes my opponent to guard. Not a whole lot, but enough. But,
that's understandable.
Yeah, that's all I run of her. And then 4 Liberator of Silence Galatine. A lot of people run Lop-Ear shooters, things like that, but this is really just an aggressive deck. It's meant for streamlined, straight punching you in the face.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And then grade 3 lineup. This is really easy. I run 4 Liberator Gancelot. And 4 Spectral Duke Dragon. Gancelot and Duke is an amazing combo, because if I get the ride chain off, which 50-50 shot it happens, and then I wind up break riding with Duke, Duke swings for 21 by himself, then again with boosting, it's like 29,000 plus whatever triggers I get, so it's really kind of a fearsome column. Plus the fact that I can usually hit 22 with my rear guards with Gancelot's break ride. So it's a pretty simple, straightforward deck build, nothing too fancy, nothing over the top, and that's what I took 4th place with in New York.
Nice, alright. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions before we end this.
Yeah, sure.
What was one of your hardest matchups when you went to the event overall?
I'll answer that question with a follow-up statement, or previous words, the family. Basically, I thought that my hardest matchups were going to be Eradicators. Killing off my rear guards is kind of a really hard thing to overcome if I'm not hitting that ride chain. But it actually turns out that my hardest matchup was against the Zeal Beast player.
Really?
Yeah, really. I know that sounds kind of silly, but when he hits that Zeal Beast ride chain perfectly in that 1-game format, and I've got nothing but 2s and 3s to guard with, it's a real strong uphill battle, and I didn't manage to win. I did actually wind up losing to that Zeal Beast player towards the end, but it was a really good match.
Alrighty. My only other question is, will you be running this next format or post set 12, 13, and 14, or will you be switching to something else?
As much as I love Duke, Duke has been my very first Vanguard ever. I don't feel like he's going to be able to stand up to things like Link Joker and Revengers. Link Joker locking the rear guard means Duke can't stand, he can't use his effect. And Raging Form is just absolutely disgusting, so I'm probably going to switch to one of those two decks for this format.
Alrighty, sounds good. Well, thank you for profiling with us.
Yeah, no.
Like, comment, rate, subscribe, let me know what you think, and yeah, Martial Ragnarok, signing out. Peace.